Hi comrades, viewers KVS. In the last episodes, we have discussed about the contributory negligence, and I hope that it would be more beneficial to all of you. This episode, I want to discuss about the APAR, Annual Performance Appraisal Report. Some of our comrades are asking me, you are publishing in Tamil, which we could not understand. Yes, I am doing this job exclusively for the comrades belonging to Tamil Nadu in a separate channel, Untitled KVS. And for the rest of the comrades, and including the Tamil Nadu comrades also, I am simultaneously telecasting under the caption of Viewers KVS. Viewers KVS is a part of the Untitled KVS and which is being published for the benefit of our comrades outside Tamil Nadu. So kindly bear with me because this is inevitable. As during last 10 months, I am conducting various classes to the comrades of Tamil Nadu in Tamil, which I cannot disturb or discontinue at this juncture. So kindly bear with me and let us discuss all the important topics which I am discussing in Tamil in English also. Definitely, I will discuss each and every topic, particularly the important topic, every time after I release the Tamil. Today I am going to discuss about the Annual Performance Appraisal Report. The APAR is one of the very important vital factor at this juncture, particularly after the 7th Pay Commission in all the central government employees. Why? Because the MACP promotion is now based on the benchmark reflected in the APAR. What is APAR? The APAR is nothing but the confidential report which was prevailing and it should be written every year. Who is writing? Actually, there are two officers are nominated for the purpose of writing the APAR. One is called reporting authority and the other is called as a reviewing authority. Both should function and the first reporting authority will write the APAR and it will be placed to the reviewing authority. The reviewing authority either he can accept or he can modify the entries made by the reporting authority. This facility is available in all the central government departments except postal. In postal, the reporting authority and also the reviewing authority are one and the same. That is the biggest problem we are facing nowadays. Most of the officers who are prejudiced or biased with the officials or with the office bearers, they are awarding lowest grade mark in the APAR, which become a stumbling block at the time of granting the MACP to such officials. This is going on. The APAR, let us discuss about certain vital points about the APAR. Actually, the APAR is for the official year, that is year started from 1st April to 31st March. That is the official year actually. And if an official joined within 3 months within the financial year, there is no need for writing APAR to those officials. And suppose if an official taking leave of continuous leave of 15 days, and if it comes under the 3 months period, another 15 days can also be extended. So, in such cases, the APAR need not be written even for 3 months plus 15 days leave if availed in excess of 3 months. And similarly, if an officer is having only 3 months, he need not write the APAR. There is no need to write the APAR. If an officer is suspended, he should write the APAR within 2 months during the period of suspension. If he did not write, he has no power to write the APAR thereafter. And similarly, an officer who is under suspension, after revocation, after reinstatement, if the period of observation is lesser, he should not be allowed to write the APAR of the officials working under him. If it is a prolonged suspension and after reinstatement, he should not be allowed to write the APAR. And similarly, if an officer who is retired from service, he should be allowed to write the APAR within 1 month. After 1 month, he has no right to write the APAR and he has no power to access any records of the division. This is very important. In most of the divisions, the retired officers, after 5 or 6 months also, they are entering the office, they are making entries, and which is incorrect. In such cases, if some of the divisional secretaries know that the APR was not written by the officers during his service time or within 1 month after his superannuation, you can make a reference to the authority that he should not be allowed access to write the APAR further after particular financial year. And the APR is concerned, no other officer except the reporting officer or the reviewing officer, no one is allowed to write the APAR and it cannot be handed over to anyone for writing. Suppose an officer is transferred. If the officer remained in the particular division, which is less than 3 months, he need not write the APAR for the officials working under him for the period. If it is within 6 months, there is no need to write the APAR because during the remaining period of more than 6 months, that is going to be observed by his successor and there is no need for writing the APAR if the period is less than 6 months also. The self-appraisal. The self-appraisal that the officials above LG, they can submit the self-appraisal about their performance during the period. They can submit before 15th April. Actually, the form for self-appraisal that should be circulated to the concerned officials before 31st March of every year. On receipt of the self-appraisal form, in the particular column provided in the form itself, the official can mention about the work they did during the period and they cannot attach any separate paper and everything has to be concisely written in the pro forma itself. It should not be attached with any other paper. That is very important. And if the period of observation is less than 3 months, there is no need for any self-appraisal. They need not give any self-appraisal form. It is not required. And in the APR, while writing the APR, I am observing in many divisional heads, they are mentioning in the column public relationship with the public. There is one column is there in the APR. In the APR column, they are mentioning that it is satisfactory or something else. Or they are writing, they are putting some remarks. But if an official who has no relationship with the public, a clerk working in the OA, working in the divisional office, a clerk working in the accounts branch, a clerk working in the savings branch in the head post offices, they are not having any access to the public. And in those cases, in the APR column, it should be left blank. There should be no other remark except it should be left blank. And similarly, while grading, there are only 10 columns. Actually, each column is having 1 mark. and the mark should be awarded only for the 10 standard models only, not for any other thing. There is no column for business activities or any other activities related to the business or some other new products or something else. They should not mention anything about the business activities or other activities related to the newly oriented businesses. The 10 columns are there and they can make their observation only on the 10 columns and nothing more than that. While writing the APAR, if the concerned official is a relative of the reporting officer or reviewing officer, he is prohibited to write the APAR of the concerned officials. It is not permissible to write APAR for the close relative of the concerned officer. And similarly, while writing the APAR, there should be no overpricing of a person. If there is a overpricing of the person, it will be shown as favoritism and that APAR can be challenged by others. So naturally, there should not be any overpricing in there. Suppose some warnings are issued, warning or reprimands issued. There is no compulsion that it should be recorded in the APAR. If it is to be mentioned, then the fact should be intimated much earlier to the concerned official. Otherwise, it shall not be made it. And what are all the grade mark awarded now? If it is between 8 to 10, it is outstanding. There is a standard rule that no official should be given more than 9. If it is more than 9, which means it is an absolute favoritism, and generally it should be restricted 9 or 9.5, and it should not be 10 for any officials. There is one instruction is there. And similarly, it is very good if it is 6 to 8 marks, it is very good. And similarly, if it is 4 to 8, it is good. If it is below 4, it will be treated as 0 and it is treated as unfit for the promotions. There is a difference between the MACP and LG promotion. For LG promotion, the application of benchmark good is sufficient. If a person possesses good in the APR for 5 years, that is sufficient and they will be granted LG promotion, they will be accorded LG promotion. But in the case of MACP, one should possess 5 very good benchmark for the grant of MACP. If 5 very good benchmarks are not available, then naturally their MACP will be postponed until they secure 5 good continuous 5 very good benchmark in the subsequent years. So this is a very big danger available in the APAR. They will get the LG promotion, but they will not be accorded the MACP as per the existing reasons. What is the procedure for the APAR? APAR, actually the self-appraisal form to the LG and above officials, that should be sent before 31st March of every year. And the concerned official, they should resubmit the self-appraisal form after duly filling up. In case if there is no entry, that also they have to resubmit the self-appraisal form before 15th April of every year. And the reporting officer, he has to complete the reporting before 30th June and he should place it to the reviewing officer, and the reviewing officer should complete the process by 31st July of every year. But anyhow, the entire process has to be completed before 31st August of every year. The APAR has to be circulated between the 1st to 15th of September every year. The process of the reporting, actually there is only one role, that he is the person, he is a reporting officer and he is a reviewing officer, and the divisional head, they have to complete the process by 30th June and they should circulate immediately during July. Because generally if there is a reporting officer and reviewing officer, the procedure is different. But in our department, they have to complete the process by 30th June and they have to circulate in July itself. This is very important. On receipt of the APAR, one has to make representation within 15 days from the receipt of the APAR. The representation should be submitted within 15 days. All should note, it should not be belatedly submitted. It should be submitted within 15 days. If you are submitting a representation against the entries in the APAR, the entries will not come into effect because it will be implemented after the disposal of your representation. Your representation should be disposed within 1 month of the next authority. That is, the Director of Postal Service, he has to dispose your representation within 1 month. He cannot delay it. As per the rule, it should be disposed within 1 month. Actually, there is a provision of submission of memorial after the disposal of the representation by the concerned authority. That means memorial means the next authority to the next authority, that is PMG or the GPMG as a concern. You can submit the memorials within 6 months after the disposal of the representation. This provision is there in the confidential report. Recently, the DOPT has circulated how to observe the time limits for writing the APAR, in which also they have mentioned about the 1978 orders, in which it is very clear that memorials are permitted after the disposal of the representation. This is very important. Many officials, after the rejection of the representation, they are simply keeping quiet. They can make memorials, they can send memorial to the concerned and they can ask the disposal of such memorials also. That is available in the provisions also. And in some cases, some APAR, some of the officers are mentioning about the past record of the officials. Is it permissible? Not at all. No past record. Suppose a punishment was awarded before the reporting year. They are simply mentioning he has awarded a punishment at so and so year, so and so year. No, not at all. That should not be mentioned. No, the observation is made to the particular financial year, not for the previous years. Whatever be the punishment awarded, whatever be the reprimands or whatever be the penalty they has been awarded to them, that should not be reflected in the current year APAR. And similarly, while observing the integrity column, many officers are writing as per their own whims and fancies. They are writing something about the official integrity, it is doubtful or something else. They are adding. But they should not write anything except the 3 items they have specifically mentioned. Only 3 items, any one of the 3 items only they have to mention. His integrity is not doubtful. They can mention only beyond doubt. If they are having any doubt, then they have to mention, since the integrity of the officer is doubtful, a secret note is attached. We can mention the integrity is doubtful, a secret note is attached. That they can write. That cannot be challenged. But they cannot write other words other the words coined by the department. The third one, suppose if the officer is not fully watching the integrity of the concerned and he has no assessment about it, then he has to make the following coinage of words. Not watch the officer's work for sufficient time to form a definite judgment, but nothing adverse has been reported to me about the officer. These only the 3 items only, either any one of the 3. the reporting officer can write and no other word should be written in the APAR. In many APAR, they are writing so many words as per their likes and dislikes. No other word should be written. It should be personally written by the concerned officer, and it is very essential that the concerned officers, they cannot write anything with prejudice or bias. A very specific orders are there. The officer should not write the APAR with prejudice or bias. And also, suppose if an officer is simply commenting that the performance of the officer is not satisfactory or something, he cannot mention. There is another important order in which it has been categorically stated that when you are finding fault with the performance of an officer, you should be summoned, you should be properly guided, and thereafter only you can pass the adverse comments in the APAR. So you should be summoned, you should be counseled, you should be taught how to do something. And simply writing that it is not correct something, it is very bad. We have to be more careful in such of those APARs written by the officers. Comrade, you should know. After 2017, when the APAR entries are compulsory for the MACP, the problems creeped up like anything in almost all the divisions. The officers who don't know the sanctity, who don't know the importance of the APAR, they have simply awarded 4 to 6 marks in the grading, and they have judged with the good benchmark. Resultantly, many comrades have deprived of getting their APAR. They have not represented it in time. As per the rules, they have not represented within 15 days. And even if they are representing at a later stage, the concerned officers mercilessly, even though there is a rule in the confidential report that the concerned officer can condone the delay, the condoning the delay is the right of the concerned officers. Without exercising the powers of condonation, they are simply rejecting that the representation was not made at proper time and within the proper time limit. Thereafter, our officials are also not representing further, submitting the memorials to the GPMG or PMG concerned, and resultantly many people have deprived of their MACP in many circles. I know, it is my observation also. We have already, even our central headquarters have taken this issue with the directorate and seeking for one-time relaxation for upgradation of benchmark awarded during the year 2017 and 2018, because many of the officers have written the APAR very casually and without adopting the norms and the ethics and the morals. So, comrades, let us be more careful. APAR is a very important document, and also you know very well, APAR, after the retirement, within 2 years, you can ask the copy of your APAR. If you are demanding to your APAR copies within 2 years after your retirement, that should be, entire file should be handed over to you. That should be given to you, transferred to you. There is a provision, and you can see what your officers have written about your previous confidential report and everything, and what are all the other documents they have attached in your APAR, everything you can know very well. So this facility is also there. As per the current ruling, all the officials, whether they are gazetted or non-gazetted, should submit the returns about the immovable property in the name of the officials as well as their family members to the concerned divisional superintendent every year, and it should be recorded in the APAR. In case if you are not submitting the returns, it will also be mentioned in the APAR. So don't fail to submit the returns, which is also essential and which is also covered under the conduct rules. Comrades, let us be more careful in APAR, and particularly whenever the APR coming, you can make representation. If the benchmark is above 6, don't bother about it, leave it. If it is less than 6, immediately you make representation within 15 days. If you are not getting any reply within a month from the concern, thereafter you make further representation. If your representation is disposed negatively by the concerned officer, then you can submit the memorials and be careful. All our division secretaries, branch secretaries are requested to guide our members to be more careful and more watchful. And with this, I am concluding. Thank you very much. Yours, Kelly.